that is the Kenyan flag, and she wanders in the bushes of Ileret in Marsabit County, and this just shows the scorching drought because she is in a dry area, and the headline says, "Do they even care?" And this is the three leaders that are on top there, and children of a lesser god, and the nation is staring at a humanitarian crisis of monumental proportions in the lowlands of Baringo, where bandits roam every night. The combined effects of drought and insecurity have robbed thousands of their livelihoods, while millions across the country can barely afford to put a meal on the table every day. The cost of living is rising and agriculture is battered by rising costs of inputs. Yet there appears to be no political will to stop this descent into anarchy. And this is just a special report, and the Daily Nation is asking the leaders who are spending hundreds of millions of shillings on the campaign trail every month a simple question. Do they even care about these residents of Baringo County, where we have banditry attacks, and in the other areas we have only 2.8 million Kenyans who actually are suffering from hunger. Yes.
And on the front page of the Standard newspaper this morning, we have running mate, best bets for Raila Ruto. And as Azimio's Raila Odinga and Kenya Kwanza's William Ruto court more allies, they are also worrying about who is in their teams, has what it takes to be the deputy president. And the strained relationship between Uhuru and his deputy president is serving as a cautionary tale. So far, 11 candidates are hot favorites. And this is a story on the pages 6 and 7 of the Standard newspaper this morning, where the key qualities are: one, candidates must have a political base, but they also need to bring other qualities like good temperament and experience, and they also must inspire the confidence of Kenyans and be ready to step into the big shoes should they be required to do so. And I've just said these stories on the page 6 and 7, and amongst the 11 candidates that I've just said, among the prospective running mates, we have the Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, Martha Karua, Rigathi Gachagua, just but a few to mention. We also have the likes of Anne Waiguru and Nderito Muriithi. And had politics been as easy as ABC, Azimio leader Raila Odinga and Deputy President William Ruto, front runners in this year's presidential election, that is the two of them, that is the UDA party leader and the ODM party leader, would have already introduced their running mates to the world and declared their winning ticket. But politics is hardly as easy as so the two presidential contenders will be scratching their heads much longer than they would wish, and agonizing over who to choose as their deputy presidential candidate. And of course, that is the biggest assignment the both of them have so far. That is on the side of the Kenya Kwanza, that is led by the deputy president William Ruto, and from the side of Azimio la Umoja, that is being led by the ODM party leader Raila Odinga. And this story is very much well broken down on the pages 6 and 7 of the Standard newspaper this morning.
And on page 12, we have Nzioka Waita sets the stage for Titanic battle with Wiper in Machakos. Former President Kenyatta's aide has joined Chama cha Uzalendo, which his possible Wiper competitor Wavinya Ndeti used to vie for governor in 2013. In the last two elections, the battle for Machakos governor seat has been won between the Wiper party and a fringe party. And just like in 2013 and 2017 in the August election, Mr. Kalonzo Musyoka's Wiper party once again faces competition from a fringe party that was its closest competitor in 2013. And while Wiper had hoped to have an edge, having been the runners-up in the last elections, with Miss Wavinya Ndeti set to be its candidate once again, the small party she vied on in 2013 has fronted a formidable ticket. And Chama cha Uzalendo, on whose ticket Miss Ndeti vied on in 2013, has tapped former President Kenyatta's aide Nzioka Waita, and who yesterday named County Assembly Speaker Florence Mwangangi as his running mate. This is a story on page 12 and 13 of the Daily Nation.
And still on the front page of the Standard this morning, we have while retail price of milk has been rising and a drought in some parts of the country has led to higher cost of inputs, leading processors to raise cost by 7 shillings a litre. But farmers say they are yet to benefit. This is of course a story on the page 28 of the Standard newspaper this morning. That is under the Standard Business News.
Yes, sorry. And on my side, we have a story here that says only the DCI can probe into the case of the Deputy President William Ruto, who said that the government has a plan, has hatched a plan to rig the August 9th elections. And this is what the IEBC is saying, that they have no jurisdiction to actually probe into that case. And IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati said that the DCI has the mandate to enforce the election code of conduct and is the right entity to investigate the claims, as it can collect evidence on alleged offences committed by Kenyans abroad. And just a punchline from Mr. Chebukati, he said that we have failed to proceed with the investigations on the matter because of lack of jurisdiction. And the comments were made outside Kenyan soil. So the commission is totally incapable of investigating matters outside Kenyan territory. And the issue was raised by nominated Senator Simon Ngugi, who asked Mr. Chebukati to clarify comments attributed to Deputy President William Ruto when he was on a 10-day tour of the United States and United Kingdom late last month. Mr. Ngugi also wanted to know what action the IEBC had taken to address the concerns raised by the Deputy President. This is also on page 12 of the Daily Nation.
And on the page 4 of the Standard newspaper this morning, we have Kenyans borrow 1.6 billion Kenya shillings every day on Fuliza amid economic woes. And borrowings from Safaricom's Fuliza hit 578 Kenya shillings, that is billion, last year, as ease of use and economic hardships pushed new users to the overdraft service. And the latest disclosures by NBCA Group and the KCB Group, the two banks that underwrite Fuliza overdrafts, show that the service has deepened its share of digital loans as customers get increased borrowing limits. And of course, we have the quick fix from that Fuliza charges customers a one-off, that is 1.083% interest in a daily fee that depends on the outstanding balance. And the fee starts from 2 shillings per day up to, that is 4 shillings 100 overdraft, up to 30 Kenya shillings for 2,500 and above. And of course, there is also a story under the same that is on customers bad, where the Fuliza fee, where the customers who do not clear the overdraft within 30 days are barred from utilizing the unused Fuliza limit until they settle the outstanding amount. A story on the national page 4 of the Standard newspaper.
Wow, and that is quite a huge amount, 1.6 billion Kenya shillings.
Sure.
In a day.
In a day.
Wow. Then people have money.
that is the amount of money. People, no, I don't think, not people have money, but people of course have needs.
They have needs, because when you look at the rates of Fuliza, they're quite a little bit high as compared to the other. But the online lending mobile apps are also, they have a higher charge as well. But it's easier to get money through Fuliza other than the mobile lending apps.
Yes, I think Fuliza, what maybe I can say, Fuliza is kind of reliable, yes, as compared to the other maybe online mobile money lenders.
Yes, yes. And on that note, we move to our page 3 of the Daily Nation, where we have a story about Jelios Mugure Kirima, who is a KCSE candidate, and she is at the age of 40 and a mother of 2. And now she was forced to pause her education at Form 2 when her mother passed on. And she dropped school 22 years ago and lost all hope for ever acquiring any academic papers or pursuing education. All that has now changed, as the 40-year-old mother of 2 is among the thousands of candidates sitting the ongoing Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education exams at Gilgil Township Secondary School, where she is writing her exams as a private candidate. The fruit vendor, whose son is a college student, might easily be mistaken for a supervisor. And unlike other candidates at the school, the mother of two is not required to wear school uniform. And this is just a story on page 3 of the Daily Nation.
And on the national page 8 of the Standard, we have an interesting story where central leaders spend millions on billboards to attract voters. And the president, that is President Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee Party, has so far spent 40 million to advertise on billboards in Mount Kenya region, and as it seeks to broaden its appeal ahead of the August elections. And Nyeri Town MP Mr. Ngonjiri Wambogo said that the ruling party has erected over 200 billboards in efforts to counter Deputy President Dr. William Ruto, who has been making inroads in the president's backyard. And of course, you also have the placed strategically, or still under the same on the page 8, a story very much well broken down on the page 8 of the Standard this morning.
Yes, and now maybe Ngonjo, we look at a story here about voting. And the IBC says the number of polling centers with no 3G network coverage are unknown. And the Electoral Commission doesn't know the number of those polling stations with just 4 months to the August 9th polls. Now, although the Supreme Court nullified the August 8th, 2017 presidential election on the basis of internet connectivity, the IEBC has done little to address the matter. While appearing before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the Senate yesterday, IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati and Chief Executive Marjan Hussein Marjan could not provide statistics on the affected centers. They did not know the number of stations that lack 3G coverage, only saying that the Communications Authority was still mapping out the regions. And until the process is complete, they cannot give the actual statistics. I don't know, this is quite late because it is only 4 months to the general elections. And they do not know the numbers of polling stations that do not have 3G network.
And of course, that is a kind of crisis.
That is a trouble looming.
Yes, because we're running out of time.
Out of time, yes, and they should have addressed it. 5 years is quite a long time to address such an issue. Yes. Yes, and maybe on the national page 10 of the Standard, we have UDA moves to address aspirants' fears over names missing from list. And we have the Deputy President William Ruto's United Democratic Alliance, that is the UDA, was in a spot yesterday after some aspirants discovered their names were missing from the party list despite having paid nomination fees. And we have party officials were scrambling to address members' concerns after aspirants from Pokot North, Kapenguri and Kachaliba constituencies raised the alarm. And the party has said it will hold nominations between April 9th and April 16th to pick candidates for the August 9th general election. And the party has 5,700 party members who have paid nomination fees so far. And we, of course, are from the UDA parliamentary aspirant, that is Ibrahim Longol Moi. I have a punchline from him that says they are telling voters that we are not on the list. That is exactly what he said. A story on the page 10 as well. And now moving on to page 14 of the Daily Nation, we have a hope for male contraceptive pill. And sexually active men can only resort to condoms, vasectomies, or withdrawal method. But now there has been improvised a contraceptive pill in the horizon following the development of a birth control drug that's 99% effective in preventing pregnancies in mice. And although there are contraceptives for men and women, it is often assumed that the burden lies with the latter, and this is with the women. From pills, injections, coils, rings, patches, cups, condoms, or to tubal ligation, there are only many female contraceptive options. Now, sexually active men only have access to single use. And a team of researchers has, however, made a breakthrough in the long hunt for a male pill that was found to be 99% effective in mice. Now, with no observable side effect, the oral drug is expected to enter human trials by the year end. And the researchers say it's a step forward in expanding male contraceptive options and bringing balance to the contraceptive burden on women. This is a story on page 14 of the Daily Nation.
And we have DPP has authority to investigate and prosecute cases, judge rules, and it is the Director of Public Prosecution, that is the DPP, and not the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, boss, who has powers to investigate and prosecute cases. A court has ruled, and the DPP, that is Mr. Nuruddin Haji, and DCI boss George Kinoti have been fighting over who between them should investigate and charge suspects in court. And the ruling by Justice Weldon Correll of the Constitutional and Human Rights Division of the High Court, that is, follows a petition by activist Okia Omtata, who accused Haji of overstepping his mandate and surpassing powers of the National Police Service in the investigation and prosecution of criminal cases. And from Justice Weldon Correll, he said that the petitioner has failed to prove that the guidelines were established in excess of the respondent's constitutional mandate. A story on the page 12 of the Standard, where in the petition filed in September 2020, activist Omotata accused DPP of surpassing authorities of National Police Service, as I've just said, that is in prosecution of criminal cases.
Yes, and moving on to stories making headlines in our counties this morning, we have a man died at a police recruitment drive, and this is in Busia, and the recruitment that started yesterday nationwide. A recruit died yesterday during that police selection exercise at the county stadium. Johnston Elijah Ochieng, who is 26 years, collapsed after running 4 laps. According to his brother Wilson Otieno, the third-year student at Mount Kenya University had no health issues. He had been training hard for the past week, and he was rushed to Busia County Referral Hospital, where he was declared dead upon arrival. Yes, and this is a story on page 23 of the Daily Nation.
That is a very sad story. And on the news making headlines on our counties, that is on the Standard counties, we have win for squatters as charged to let go of 600 acres in dispute. And we have the Catholic Diocese of Nyeri trustees will hive off 600 acres from its expansive hill farm. And the move is guided by orders in a case in which hundreds of families say their ancestors were dispossessed of land during the Mau Mau War in Mathari. And of course, we have the 171 acres. That is, the church says exercising additional land will allow the plaintiff to enroach, and this suit was filed on June 24, 2013, with the EA squatters say they started residing in Mathari and Mwanji villages. It's 1971, and of course the consent adopted before Justice Lucy Waithaka on the 20th of June 2018. That is a story on the page 25 of the Standard newspaper this morning.
Yes, and still on page 23, looking at the stories making headlines in our counties, we have aspirants eyeing top seat to face off TV debate. Now all is set for the inaugural gubernatorial debate featuring 7 aspirants, all gunning for the county's top seat. Now the debate Ngonjo will be aired on NTV, has been organized by the Baringo Liberal Minds Forum in partnership with the Nation Media Group and CPF Financial Services, and will take place in the Kenya School of Government. 6 aspirants are seeking a United Democratic Alliance ticket, while 1 wants to contest on a Chama cha Mashinani ticket. Eyeing the UDA tickets are Governor Stanley Kiptis, his predecessor Benjamin Cheboy, former Principal Secretary Fred Segor, Eldama Ravine MP Moses Lesonet, former Assembly Clerk Richard Koech, and Mr. Robert Kiplagat and Mr. Sialo Kimiring. And the planning team has invited locals to send questions around the key thematic areas that are consistent with the devolved functions and the national government's Big Four agenda. And the questions will focus on governance, education, health, agriculture, peace, security and harmony, and water and sanitation. This is a story on page 23 of the Daily Nation, and this is quite an interesting one, and I would like to watch it as well and see what are the aspirants have to say.
Of course,
Yes.
exactly. We shall make sure as well we tune because it's a very interesting, as you've just said.
Yes.
And maybe tuning our guest to Nakuru County this morning. Teacher held over a sexual abuse, and police in Gilgil have arrested a teacher of allegations of sexually abusing his 10-year-old daughter. The teacher is also accused of physically abusing 2 of his children after they parted ways with the wife. And this story is very much well broken down on the page 26 of the Standard newspaper, where the teacher allegedly is used hot water to torture the minors before the police and child activists rescued them.
Yes, and that is quite unfortunate for a father to do that to the children. We hope that justice prevails for the children as well. And now looking at the situation on our roads this morning, now being 37 minutes past 7 a.m., it is about that time that we tell you how the roads look like this morning. And I can see on Enterprise Road, and this is in Mombasa Road, I can see it is quite clear. But as always, once we get to Imara Daima, and this is at Imara, there is a traffic, a red line there, an indication of traffic. And this is on your way to town. And also on Falcon Road, connecting from Imara Daima Estate, connecting to Mombasa Road. There is traffic there as well. Today being Friday morning, everyone is trying to get to work there, and I can see that we have traffic there. But now as you go on to Cabanas, there is no traffic. A slight traffic is seen at Syokimau railway station, but today it is clear. It is one of those days that Syokimau railway station is actually clear. Yes. And
maybe to the side of Thika superhighway this morning, there is a very little bit traffic on this side from the Utali lane. That is on the highway side. On the service lanes, very much passable this morning. That is from Utali lane up to Pangani areas. That is at the north of V Road this morning. And of course, Muranga Road, as we approach town this morning, no traffic at all, just a little bit traffic at the Globe flyover.
Yes, and moving on, and I can see that in Jogo Road there is traffic as well, and this is just as you get to Shauri Moyo. I can see traffic there on that side also, and this is Maziwa. Actually, there is a little bit of traffic there, and also in the side of Makadara, there is Makadara DC Jogo Road. There seems to be traffic there as you get to town, and it is being seen from Mbotela all the way up to the City Stadium roundabout. There seems to be traffic on that side. Yes.
And from the side of Langata Road this morning, from just the flyover between the southern bypass and the Langata Road this morning, there is a little bit traffic on your way to town that opens up a few kilometers. That is at the Dam Estate. Of course, that is where the traffic ends. But as well as you approach the side of the Wilson Airport this morning, a little bit traffic on your way to town. And as you join with the Mbagathi way, there is not that much traffic, especially apart from the area near high rise. That is where we experiencing a little bit traffic, though it's flowing because it's an indicator of some red and orange lines. Valley Road this morning, very much passable. Kenyatta Avenue, no traffic at all, just a little bit slow traffic as you approach the CBD.
And at the Nyayo Stadium, and this is in Mombasa Road, we have a little bit of traffic, and this is from the Mombasa Raha bus stop, and all the way up to the Nyayo Stadium, and this is the roundabout. There seems to be traffic there. It is moving, but it seems there seems to be traffic as well as in the roundabout there. This is the connection to Langata Road and Lusaka Road. That is where there is traffic. Slightly moving, but there is traffic as well, and all the way connecting up to as you approach town, and this is in Bunyala Road as well. There seems to be traffic there as well. This is a continuous red line, and this is on your way to town. From town there is no traffic, and this is at as you can see from Nyayo Stadium all the way up to Bunyala Road. There seems to be traffic, slightly moving, but there is traffic as well.
And on the side of Ngong Road this morning, there is a little bit traffic at the Martha Land area. And of course, the traffic is not that hectic this morning, but the traffic as well opens up just a few kilometers or meters from there. And we have another traffic being experienced at the Coptic area that is on Ngong Road. And this morning, from the side of Ngong Road, Christine, as you approach the Mbagathi Way roundabout, there is a hectic traffic because it's a continuous red line, though that is near the Daystar bus stop this morning. And of course, as I had said earlier on the side of Valley Road this morning, there is no traffic at all, and as well as Kenyatta Avenue as you approach CBD again.
And in CBD today, there seems to be moving slightly. There is no traffic, but we can see that in one road here, and this is in Accra Road. There seems to be traffic in Accra Road, but on the other areas of CBD, I don't seem to see any signs of traffic in the CBD this morning. I have indication that people go to work a little bit earlier, and because it is Friday, maybe a little bit later on the day, they will get to work. And that is the situations on our roads this morning. We will keep updating you on any incidents or accidents on our roads this morning right here on Morning Informant. And now on that note, maybe we go for our first short break, but we will be back with more. Please stay tuned because we have so much more. We're still looking at the world news in our dailies, and we continue on to our topic this morning. Do not go too far.
Ever since I could remember, I've always wanted to be an advocate. As I grew up, I knew this wasn't just a dream, but my passion. I do not get intimidated, but I relish the challenge. Fighting for my client is what drives me every day. Everyone deserves best level of defense. That's exactly what we bring here at Legally Right, to defend, protect, and fight for your own rights.
Welcome to Sagana Greens by Kenmark Realtors Limited. These 50 by 100 plots are located in Sagana town along the new dual carriage, Canal, Sagana, Marua Highway, and are ready for immediate development. They are ideal for family homes, hotels, holiday cottages, or commercial development. Water, electricity, and other social amenities are available. Enjoy the offer price of 850,000 Kenya shillings and get an instant 10% discount for cash buyers. Title deeds are ready. Free site visits are every Wednesday and Saturday. For bookings and reservations, call us on 0721737300 or visit our office in Kitengela Town, Pena Towers, Suite B6. Kenmark Realtors Limited, your getaway to home.
Ever since I could remember, I've always wanted to be an advocate. As I grew up, I knew this wasn't just a dream, but my passion. I do not get intimidated, but I relish the challenge. Fighting for my client is what drives me every day. Everyone deserves best level of defense. That's exactly what we bring here at Legally Right, to defend, protect, and fight for your own rights.
Welcome back to Morning Informant. And of course, because we are here because of you, we have some comments coming in on our Facebook page, and that is from Nema Kantitus, and she's saying amazing. And we have Hezekiah Njoro, good work for keeping us informed. Thank you so much. Please be part of this conversation as we continue just informing you on the stories making headlines, as well as our topic for discussion this morning. It is going to be quite interesting for that matter.
Yes, and of course, I can see Jane, you tuned in from Limuru as usual, and of course, our number one fan, that is Jose Wazima. Thank you very much as well for tuning in to this morning. And just remind you of our SMS code is 24044.
And now as we continue, our Facebook page and our social media handles are at SHANI TV on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Instagram. And we look at the stories making headlines in the world, international news this morning. And we have Mozambique in distress as war and dogs meet. And the story of war tends to often be told in terms of who is winning and who is losing. The shooting, the body count on the battlefield, the captures, the heroes who stood up, and the cowards who fled the fight. Rarely is it about dogs, and that is until we go to the age of Total Energies' vast compound in Afungi in Mozambique's northern Capo Delgado province. Total set up shop there to a short distance off into the Indian Ocean. And Mozambique has about 2.8 trillion cubic meters of natural gas reserves, or almost 1% of the world's total gas production. This is one of the several campuses, including its own new airport and the port that Total has established in the area. And now this area was built to accommodate around 2,000 people, but it was abandoned in March 2021 when Al-Shabaab rebels, also known as Islamic State, and that in Mozambique, and Al-Sunnah wal Jamal, that is the ASJ, and who had controlled large parts of Cabo Delgado for over 4 years, struck nearby, and the security officers, a ramp of Total workers, withdrew inside the campuses. And now in July 2021, with a drawn-out pull from the Southern African Development Community to help stuck in the three branches, it shows the extent to which war has gone into. And also it also talks about human trafficking, and this is girls as young as 12 are having babies, and women also nearing 60 years old also coming to have children. And it looks like also some of the women are being sold to by the senior rebel leaders to their juniors at a younger at a cheaper price rather. So girls are being sold to their juniors, and this is by the senior rebel leaders, and this is in Mozambique as the war continues, and it shows the dissertation of the area as well. This is a story on page 29 of the Daily Nation.
And on the page 30 of the Standard newspaper this morning, we have Congo also to become 7th EAC member. What is it in for partners? And we have shortly after his controversial electoral victory in early 2019, the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, Felix, sought to get his country admitted into the East African community. And recently, the East African Community Ministers recommended the DRC's admission, a decision set to be formalized by the bloc's presidents when they meet on Tuesday. And regional integration experts, that is Mr. Jonathan Omuchesi, discusses key points of the decision. And of course, under the same, we also have the intermittent piracy, and we have the grounds for admission of a new EAC member, beginning with the acceptance of the community as set out in the East African Community Treaty, all the way up to social and economic policies being compatible with those of the community. And this story is very much well broken down this morning on the page 30 of the Standard newspaper this morning.
Yes, and now moving on to money matters, we can see that on page 33 of the Daily Nation, Telkom Kenya gets 2.2 billion Kenya shillings state shareholder loan. And Telkom Kenya will receive the money, the loan from the state after lawmakers allocated funds to support the telco's development programs. And this is an increase of 2.2 billion Kenya shillings for Telkom Kenya. The Budget Committee of the National Assembly recommended this in a report to the full House. The government owns a 40% shareholding in Telkom Kenya, while the rest is held by a British private equity firm, Helios Investment Partners. Although the Parliamentary Committee did not specify the projects and programs to be funded through the shareholder loans, Telkom Kenya is in the middle of business reforms that require capital to successfully implement. And this is just a story on page 33 of the Daily Nation, where we look at the ownership. And as we said, a 40% stake is what the government owns in the telco, and 100% ownership of the 2 units that Telkom created the last year, and which has fully control over. And this is a story on page 33 of business news on Daily Nation.
And we have milk prices heat up as drought cuts production. Milk prices have risen sharply following persistent drought in many parts of the country, and dealing a blow to consumers who are already grappling with the high cost of living. And from the depleted reserves, we also have the cost that is Kenya has the highest per capita milk consumption in sub-Saharan Africa at 110 liters, and annual demand is around 8 billion liters, and the dairy sector contributes 14% of the agricultural gross domestic product, and the small scale farmers account for 56% of milk output. And of course 65 Kenya shillings is the current price per 500 ml packet of milk in some supermarkets. A story on the page 28 of the Standard newspaper this morning.
Yes, and on that note, we also look at the drought drives up thermal power use, and thermal energy fed into the national grid hit a 4-year high in January on low water levels in hydropower dams and reduced output from geothermal plants. Now, fresh data by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics shows that thermal power supplied to Kenya Power increased to 206.26 million kilowatts hours in January, up from 167.26 million units in December last year. Now, this is the highest purchase of thermal power since February 2018, when the utility bought 249.13 million kilowatts of thermal power. Kenya Power was also forced to reduce uptake of geothermal power for the 6th month in a row due to low steam availability at geothermal fields. Now, this just shows the extent to which drought is taking us now. And this is also from the reduction of milk production to the increase of thermal use right here in Kenya. Yes.
So this issue of drought is actually cutting from all the sides.
Yes.
And of course, there has been a complaint all over the country. A lot of people have been actually suffering. And I remember yesterday from the Kilifi County, of course, they were just saying that some things like wells should be dug, that is in the most dry parts of the country, and also near the riverbanks, because some of the rivers have dried up so far, and that is very dangerous when it comes to them as well as their livestock, if any.
And of course, in the course of last week, we have seen so many NGOs coming up with ways to conserve the energy, the environment as well, and planting of trees. And of course, they're also telling us about dried up river sources.
Exactly.
Yes. And this is just some of the things that are happening in our country right now as the drought is hit. And as we have said, 2.8 million Kenyans are being affected by drought this year. And this is just the data that we have as of now. And it's set to rise because the rains are not near with us anytime soon.
And that's a very, very sad story about it, because some of us who rain lovers might feel the pinch. And of course, from the page 29 of the Standard this morning, we have NCBA doubles dividends as profit hits 10.2 billion, and NCBA Group has doubled its dividends to shillings 4.94 billion on the back of the net profit rising 1.2 times to 10.22 billion Kenya shillings. And the bank, a product of the 2019 merger between NIC and CBA, said on Wednesday that the improved performance from 4.57 billion Kenya shillings net profit in 2020 was helped by increased income and reduced operating expenses. And this story is all around very much well broken down on the page 29 of the Standard Business News, that is in the Kenya's Bold newspaper this morning.
And still on page 33, we have on agriculture matters, Kakuzi earnings fall 48% on low avocado prices. Now, Kakuzi has posted a 48% drop in its after-tax profit for the year to December 2021, driven by low global avocado prices. The firm had issued a profit warning in January after noting a significant drop in its half-year earnings ahead of the release of its full-year financials. Now, its net profit has dropped to 319 million Kenya shillings, down from 622 million Kenya shillings it earned in 2020, which is attributed to low production of avocado and low prices of for the crop in its export markets. This is also on page 33 of the Daily Nation.
And of course, on the page 29, we also have you see, I remember when we were in school, sometimes we used to have a problem when it comes to exchange rates and bank rates.
Yes.
Of course, some of us used to find it very difficult. And maybe it's something that people are also finding it very difficult. And that is why the Standard newspaper, on the page 29, of course, they have the exchange rates, unit trust, and the bank rates as well in terms of the US dollars. Maybe you can have a copy and have a look at that.
Yes, actually, most of the time, people actually don't even know, because when you're reading something and it is written in dollars, you hear someone asking, so how much is that in dollars? And they start estimating. The dollar right now is rating at 120, and they are not even sure.
Yes, and of course, the funniest thing about it, what most of us do, and when I say most of us, I don't want to exclude myself from that because I don't want it to be an offense. And what we exactly do is, you just, for example, if you're told it's 1 million US dollars, what the simplest way of doing it, people just multiply it with 100, Bob.
Yes.
So that is why they give it an approximation and say maybe it's 1 point something billion.
Yes.
Yes. But now on the page 20, as I've said, there are actual figures about it, even with point something something.
Yes.
That is how factual we should be about it.
Yes, and we get to the field now, and we're looking at the sports news in our dailies this morning. And of course, we have on page 51 of the Daily Nation, all women rally set for Kasarani Stars Up Passion. Now, the Lioness, a group of iron-hearted drivers, are ready to row in the first ever women-only motoring competition at Kasarani's World Rally Championship Super Special Stage and beyond in the jungle on Sunday. Now, a record 13 drivers from various professional backgrounds are determined to make a mark and recreate the enthusiasm of the 1970s ignited by women rally drivers. The late Oriero Gomandule's Mary Ondieki and daughter Pamela Onyango, Rosemary Smith, and Pauline Gulik and Pauru Choda are some of the drivers who will be there in that motor rally. Yes.
And on the page 40 of the Standard newspaper, we have how Eldoret City Marathon prepared Koril for Abu Dhabi. And we have Abu Dhabi Marathon champion, that is Judith Koril, would have hoped to trump at the Eldoret City Marathon next month after finishing second last year. But she is preparing to conquer Paris on April 3, April 3rd. And of course, you have the Eldoret City Marathon preparedness so far, with of course some of the list of race officials to be submitted this weekend. And we also have crowd control will be enhanced this year, given it's a political season, Christine, and a protocol team will manage the situation. That is exactly what the chairman, Andrew Chelogoi, said. A story on the page 40 of the Standard newspaper, that is under the Standard Sports News.
Yes, and now looking at also the English Premier League, Egypt captain Mohamed Salah has vowed to avenge on Africa Cup of Nations. The final loss last month to Sadio Mane-inspired Senegal when they clash again today in a 22 World Cup playoff. Now, failure in the continental final was particularly bitter for prolific Liverpool scorer Mohamed Salah, as he was also part of the Egyptian team that lost the 2017 Cup of Nations final against Cameroon. Now, just looking at the games that will be played today and how they will be played. In Kinshasa, Dr. Congo versus Morocco. In Bamako, Mali versus Tunisia. In Cairo, Egypt versus Senegal. In Kumasi, we have Ghana versus Nigeria. And this is just some of the games that will be played today. And this is in terms of the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. Well, 22 World Cup qualifier games that will be played today. Yes.
And on the page 42 and 43, that is of the Standard newspaper this morning. We have, of course, a very interesting story about the string of retirements that shocked the world of sports. It's all about players, or maybe from football, we have from basketball, swimming, boxing, Formula One, just a few to mention, very much well detailed on the page 42 and 43 of the Standard. And this is after the Ash Barty's decision to put down her racket at the age of just 25 years. And this story is very much well broken down. That is on the page 42 and 43 of the Standard newspaper this morning.
Of course. And now on that note, we have come to the close of our newspaper review right here, and it is about that time that we introduce the topic. But before we do, maybe Ngonja, we scroll through some of the comments that are still coming in on our social media handles. And on my Facebook page, I can see Chege Steve, great informant. Good morning, Watuwangu. You're looking very smart. Thank you very much. We appreciate every comment that comes in on our Facebook page and all our social media handles as well.
And of course, I have, that is James watching from Kitengela this morning. He's saying that the show is lit. I'm really enjoying. Thank you very much. Even keep your conversations coming as you're joining our in our conversation this morning. That is just to remind you once more of our SMS code that we have for you. That is especially for you, and that is 24044. That is the SMS code you can use to join in our conversation this morning. And just to remind you that today is Friday, and on Fridays all we do is chilling here, and of course it's hashtag Friday Chills.
Yes, on today's topic, we just want to discuss money and morality. And this is when someone has money, they tend to be moral somehow. But when the money kicks in, that is when immorality also knocks the door. So we are asking, is there a difference? Does money change a person? Does money make someone immoral? And that is what we are talking about today. And we just want to pick your brain on that. And we also look at some of the things that have been happening all the way from social media. Now, with the introduction of TikTok and maybe the short reel films on Facebook, we see that social media influencers are taking it a notch higher. And to some point, it looks immoral to us.
Exactly.
Yes,
and maybe on that part of money and morality, that's a very thing about it. And of course, what exactly happens to some people before maybe we go for the break. Maybe I remember on Sunday we were on a meeting and someone said there are some people who get controlled by the money. The money controls them, but they don't control the money. That is why you see when they don't have money, they are very much quiet, very much calm. But when they receive the money, they become, it's even beyond explanation.
Yes, and that reminds me, Ngonzo, of a friend of mine who showed me a message that was sent, and it was told that when you don't have, the message read, when you don't have money, you tend to be irrational, okay, and you don't think straight.
Exactly.
So that is why we're asking. We want to understand: does money control people and make them immoral? Yes, that is what we need to understand from you, and pick your brain on that as we continue with our discussion this morning on Friday Chills. Now we are going on a break, but do not go far. Please keep those comments coming and be part of this conversation on all our social media platforms at SHANI TV on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Instagram.
And just to remind you once more of the platform code, that is 24044. That is the code you can join this morning in our conversation. See you after the break.
Welcome to Sagana Greens by Kenmark Realtors Limited. These 50 by 100 plots are located in Sagana town along the new dual carriage, Canal, Sagana, Marua Highway and are ready for immediate development. They are ideal for family homes, hotels, holiday cottages or commercial development. Water, electricity, and other social amenities are available. Enjoy the offer price of 850,000 Kenya shillings and get an instant 10% discount for cash buyers. Title deeds are ready. Free site visits are every Wednesday and Saturday. For bookings and reservations, call us on 0721737300 or visit our office in Kitengela Town, Pena Towers, Suite B6. Kenmark Realtors Limited, your getaway to home.
Ever since I could remember, I've always wanted to be an advocate. As I grew up, I knew this wasn't just a dream, but my passion. I do not get intimidated, but I relish the challenge. Fighting for my client is what drives me every day. Everyone deserves best level of defense. That's exactly what we bring here at Legally Right, to defend, protect, and fight for your own rights. Ever since I could remember, I've always wanted to be an advocate. As I grew up, I knew this wasn't just a dream, but my passion. I do not get intimidated, but I relish the challenge. Fighting for my client is what drives me every day. Everyone deserves best level of defense. That's exactly what we bring here at Legally Right, to defend, protect, and fight for your own rights.
Live in a beach life city, enjoying coastal lifestyle with a cool breeze and ocean tides as you watch the sunset. In Malindi, touch Kilifi Watamu bypass, sitting just 100 meters off the white sandy beach in a gated and controlled development next to Malaika. Finca Properties Limited offers you a 50 by 100 plot for only 1.5 million shillings. Electricity and water is available on site. This property is ideal for residential homes, cottages, holiday homes and hotels. For inquiries, bookings and reservations, SMS the word plot to 40309 or call us on 0721 737 300 or visit our website at www.finca.co.ke. Come to our offices in Kitengela Town, Pena Towers, Suite B6. Title deeds are ready. Finca Properties Limited, prime and affordable.
And welcome back. This is the Morning Informant. And just to remind you, today is a Friday Chills, Christine.
Yes.
And our SMS code is 24044. That is the one you can use to join in our conversation today.
Yes.
And maybe just the social media handles this morning.
And our social media handles are at SHANI TV on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Yes.
And the topic of the day being money and morality.
Yes.
That is, of course, what we're chilling with today on the program. And of course, as usual, we're never alone. Some few minutes from now, we might be joined by one of our guests.
Yes.
And the reason as to why we decided to talk about being as just a slight segment today, and of course we shall get to tackle some of the trends that is on our social media handles, that is beginning from the TikTok side of it, maybe to Twitter, what exactly has been trending all through the week. And of course today being money and morality, that is the best part of it. As Christine said before the break, sometimes when people get money controls them.
Yes.
And sometimes when they don't have money, they become irrational, as you just said.
Very, when they don't have money, very humble.
Very humble.
But when money knocks, you know, everything goes haywire.
You can just tell.
Yes.
Of course, when they don't have money, very polite.
Yes, and I remember someone someday was saying, I have so much money, I can slap you and pay you. You know, and someone is saying that.
I think there is a slot in Kenya, we call it kakiburi. And you have that ego, and sometimes you just find yourself doing something that is very funny. Money tells you, go to the shopping center and slap the shopkeeper.
Yes.
And you go and do it because the money is controlling you. The same money takes you to maybe the supermarket, and you just find yourself buying things you don't require.
Yes.
That is exactly some of the things you're receiving on Sunday. And
Impulse buying.
Exactly.
And then sometimes, I don't know, Ngonjo, maybe if you have experienced this, you find that sometimes when someone has money, they are very rude.
Very.
You know, like pesa inafanya wanakuwa na kiburi.
Sana,
yes, you know, you feel like you have grown now because of money. And that is why we want to look at that, because at this point, people have taken it to extreme levels.
Exactly.
They want money, they want to have money. So, and that is why we want to just look at it, immorality and money, and morality as well, because now they tend to be immoral because of the money. Okay, is it the society that we want? And that is why we are asking, how does money affect morality? Yes.
And of course, just to balance the weight, there are also these kind of people, but they are very rare. When they don't have money, they're they're very rude. They don't want stories with people. But when money comes in, they're very accommodative. They're very good people. That is the time they can come to functions. That is the time they can call you. That is the time they can. Yeah, that is the time when you see Christine's message on WhatsApp and she's saying hi. You know, Christine has got something. Yes, that is another different type of people, because from the irrational side of it to rational side of it, it all varies with people. But the weight, of course, being real when allowing reality, of course, to lead. You see the side where people, sometimes when they don't have money, very calm. That is where the weight actually falls on that side. But when money comes in, you cannot trace Christine.
Yes.
You cannot find her at her own house. She doesn't even want to attend the functions, maybe family functions. That is the time she's very much busy.
Very busy.
All over window shopping and buying things she doesn't require or even need.
Yes, and sometimes you find that you even don't pick calls from numbers you don't know. Okay, from new numbers, you have blocked all of them.
Of course.
You know, and once you're called, you will say, I am calling you back right now. In a few minutes, I'm calling you back. But you never call back. And this is why I remember I saw something that said, it showed people just queuing. It was a very, very long queue. And then the message down there said, this is the people that you have told you're calling them back in a minute. And so that was the queue that was showing.
So you just queuing
Yes.
the numbers. That is so unfortunate. But
Yes.
and also I remember there is this type as well. When they just get that share, maybe it might be a huge amount of money.
Yes.
That is when they come and attend the meetings late and leave early.
Yes.
That is when you get to ask them, Christine, where are you going? Have some errands. And they call, that is the time they call even Uber. That is cabs. They call them, of course, maybe just to be dropped a few kilometers from there, just to show you the kind of, maybe a small thing about it. There is also this type that when this person has money, of course, the dress code even changes.
Yes.
But that is normal, of course.
Yes. Yes.
Because when you have money, just try as much as you can maybe to buy a good earring, a good hairstyle, of
Yes.
course. But you can tell, but
That is
no,
allowed as well.
that's allowed.
But we have also another group, Ngonjo. I don't know if you know about this group. Once they know that they have money, and maybe they have wanted to tell you something bad, like maybe I have been sitting here and every morning we're with you from Monday to Friday, but I also look at you and say, I want to tell you that you look very bad. So that day I know that I have money. That day I have the courage to even tell you, Ngonjo, you know what? You're very ugly. You know, and I don't know, those things are not related, but I have still said it.
Sure.
You see,
Yeah.
and this is what we're talking about morality, because when we talk about morality, it is everything from how we relate to people and how we interact with people as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
And maybe sometimes people, as from whatever you've just said, someone can just tell you, because he knows even if you react, he can pay you and shuts you up with 1,000 notes and tells you shut up. He gives you 1,000. And these are some of the people we have in this country, and of course they're making their life very funnier, and not even funny. It makes it more fun than it's supposed to be. And of course, that is a bad thing about it, and that is why today we decided to tackle. That is a slight bit of it that is between money and morality. It's a good thing even when you have money and when you don't have money, because money is not a bad thing, but the reaction. Don't allow the money to control you.
Yes.
Of course, control money. Why should you allow money to control you as a person?
And on that note, I have a quite interesting comment here that has just come in, and this is from Victor. Victor is saying, good morning, Morning Informant. I really, really, really enjoy this topic because money is everything. But now there is a point to note. Money only stays where it is respected. Where money is not respected, it does not stay. So this is why you see people, they gain fame from social media, especially TikTok nowadays. But after some time, they are gone with the wind. This is because they do not even respect the little money that they have, and also do not respect themselves. Wow. Thank you so much, Victor, though you didn't tell us where you're watching us from, but this is quite a heavy comment.
Of course,
yes.
It's a very passive information. It's very informing as well. And
Yes.
of course, on my side, I have a good morning informant. Do you know the root of all evil? You see, money makes this world go around. And even in this country, everything is going around because of money. But what sort of thing is money? Bits of paper and metal.
Wow. And I have another one here, and this is from Elizabeth, and she's saying that our actions are guided by moral values, but when money hits in, some of our moral values change and it becomes a selfish decision making. Wow. This we're getting quite good comments from you this morning.
And of course, we're getting to learn as well. And I have a different one that says here, good morning informant. My name is Njoki, watching you guys from Nairobi. And what I can say about this is that how can money make someone feel proud? The money that you did not make, you just given, even though it's your money. You've worked for that money, but it is not your money. I don't know what exactly Njoki mean, but at least from that we can get something.
Yes, you can actually pick something from that as well.
Because always we say from any statement, just pick whatever belongs to you, and whatever does not belong to you, please leave it there.
Please leave it there. And of course, we just need to look at this issue about money and morality. And we have seen people trending on TikTok.
Exactly.
But now it gets to a point where it gets to people even showing their nudity on social media. And this is in a bid to just get followers so that you can get paid. Yes.
And people right now can do anything for money. And from maybe the comment that I think read first from the ones that said, do you know the root of all evil?
Yes.
And of course, I think the love of money is the cause of all, is the root, not cause of all evil. That is what exactly the Bible says.
And I don't know if you remember that one that used to say, man made money,
And
money made man mad.
Something. Of course, it used to be a very good tongue twister, but it used to pass some information. You see, at that time, just used to say it, God made man, man made money, money made man mad.
Yes.
So you don't know something slowed. But when you take it slow, bit by bit, you shall understand the information in it, of course.
Of course, it has a lot of potency in it.
Exactly.
Yes, and that is why we need to look at this, because the young people, especially right now, but I have also seen some elder people actually on TikTok, and the things they're doing, you look at it and you ask yourself, would I be doing this at this age? Okay, and this is because all you need to get fame, to get money, you know, to get followers. And as long as someone just hits the like button, you know that you're moving, and then they come to celebrate 10 million followers. But again, what are you preaching?
Exactly.
You know, what are you preaching on your platform? That is what we are looking at, because yes, there is money, but again, how are you using this money and how are you using this platform? But right here at Morning Informant, we always say that we want to be advocates of change. Yes, you can be on social media, you can be on TikTok, you can create the short Facebook reel films, but you can do that while educating people,
Exactly,
while educating the society and impacting the society positively.
Sure.
Yes.
And of course, you're not saying that we are not killing any talent
No,
here.
we're not.
Of course, if you can just continue, there is no offense in that. Of course, some of us even find fun in some of the people that is on TikTok and all over. It's only that I cannot mention your names here, but of course, we also enjoy your content.
Yes.
To some extent, be as much as concerned that with sometimes just find a content that does not even have a lineup. Some things are funny, but they have lineups. You can relate these things. Of course, they are doing it. They are doing something that is real. That is there.
Yes.
But sometimes, unfortunately, you can find someone. The content is there, but of course, you cannot even try to relate what exactly is moving on. But we are not killing any talent. Just continue. But no, the information you're passing, just preach the right gospel.
We like the fun ones, and Ngonja shows them to me, and it is quite interesting because the acting and all that, it is quite funny. But the immoral part,
that is the part you're talking about.
Yes, and because we cannot tackle this topic on ourselves, by ourselves as well, we want you to keep those comments coming in. But of course, as we told you before, we have a young, vibrant person,
of course,
right here in our studios, a graphic designer for that matter, well informed with the society.
Exactly.
Yes, and that is why we wanted to just pick his brain on this issue of money and morality. Yes. Where does it change, or where are we going wrong?
Yes, and maybe it shall also let us think together, the three of us.
Yes.
Maybe what happens to people, as you just said, sometimes you just receive, maybe you don't have anything in your M-Pesa, and you find someone sends you 500, and you just not even the facial expression of someone changes.
Yes.
Maybe that person was speaking starts immediately, and you wonder, Christine, what's wrong? What happened? You see the way you can note something bad has happened. When you pinch someone, or someone is pinched under the table, you can see from the facial part of it, something is wrong. The same thing. You can note when it changes.
Yes, but again, we forgot to mention, there's a certain caliber that when they have money, you can never know. When they don't have money, you can never know.
Wow. That is a certain
There's that caliber as well. When they have money, you don't know. When they don't have money, you can't tell. We have people who have money but very, very humble. You know.
Yes.
And there's a statement that Kenyans usually like using, and maybe I can just mention it. And I said Kenyans like using. I didn't say that I use it. Maybe sometimes I do. But when you hear someone saying, "Hey, ngoja ukipata pesa utatusumbua."
People, but sometimes you have haters all over the world, and I don't want to say haters, I want to say haters, because that one sounds better.
Yes.
And of course, some people, there is also another good friend of mine who used to tell someone else that when you get old, ni kama utatusumbua, utakuwa kamzee kabaya sana. And I was like, why exactly? Maybe there's some of the people who can see the future from now. You can't tell.
Well, I don't know about that. But on the issue of money and morality, we just need to table this down, because at some point, on our social media, we see that it is getting to the extreme levels. And now it is about that time that we introduce our guest, who is right here in our studios this morning, and we give him a chance, as we said, a young, vibrant person, a graphic designer, and someone who is well informed with the society as well. And it is that time that we give him the floor.
Of course.
Yes, karibu sana, Mr. David. Yes. Please introduce yourself once more.
Okay, my name is David Mkoya. I'm a graphics designer, and well to add on, I'm born again Christian.
Wow. Yes.
However, I love the God, because God is the one who opens doors, even as we talk about finances and money and morality, because all of it is the basis of what we have and the good things we can do with the money and the models that we can around ourselves with in life.
Wow. Wow, thank you so much. And welcome to SHANI TV studios. Yes, and now just we're talking about money and morality. And we see that nowadays on our social media platforms, before you get to answer that, maybe we just look at some of the statistics that we have, of course. And of course, now on social media, we have seen people making up to 1 million Kenya shillings. And this is in terms of the viewers as well.
Exactly.
Yes, and now we have seen that. And of course, Mr. David is going to also help us understand this issue because he is a young person.
Yes.
And he is a born-again Christian. So this means that, of course, he understands our everything about morality as well as money matters. And as we know, we said before, God made man, man made money, and money made man mad. So back to you, Mr. David Westonga. Yes, and you were telling us about money. You are a born-again Christian. So what is your take on money and morality?
To some extent, I do not understand why we happen to attribute money to morality, because I believe morals, someone is born with morals and they are molded as a person grows. And money comes in along, but money finds morals in a person. So to some extent, I do not understand why most of the time we attribute money with morals, because I believe morals are inborn. But money finds us along the way. So the point of one having money and changing their morals, I think it's the point of upbringing. You find there are people who are brought up well, they have money, they even know how to spend their money, they even know what to do with their money, and they even know how to carry around themselves with the money they have. So basically, morals is something that someone is brought up with. It's inside them. So we do not expect you, because you have money, you have now to begin behaving in a certain way. However, there are people who behave like that when they have money, because they say, you give him money or you give her money, you'll now see the true colors of what she does or what he can do.
Wow.
And of course, I think David has answered one of the questions, of course, I had received. That is the reason as why we had not answered this question from the comment section is because we're waiting for David. And of course, the question was, what do money and morality have to do with each other? And of course, David has answered the question this morning. And as he has said, morals are inbuilt.
Yes,
but
morals
money comes and finds morals.
we are born with morals, but money finds us along the way.
Exactly.
And there's no need to attribute that. But again, about this caliber that now attributes their morality to money, because they can do anything for money, however immoral it is. What about that caliber? Because we have that section of people who will do anything to get money. And they will say that as long as money pays their bills, they will have to, they have to do what they have to do.
Of course.
Well, I'll call that a lust, and I'll call that a poor upbringing, because people fail to live within their means. And it's one very key important thing as human beings to learn to live within our own means. I can afford ugali and skuma today, I'll go for it.
Yes.
I don't have to go for ugali and nyama when I cannot afford ugali and nyama today. So I'll have to go for ugali and skuma because that's what I can afford. But as long as I'm well fed, I'm okay, I'm not hungry, it's fine with me. Why would I go for ugali and skuma when ugali and nyama when I only have 50 shillings with me, which can cater for skuma? So it's the part of lust within us and living someone else's life. In our society, we've had a challenge with young people, especially people of our age. Trying to emulate a certain kind of life. We are trying to live like someone else. And then we forget, this is us. This is me. You cannot afford to live in Kileleshwa when you can only live in Huruma. You cannot afford to live in Runda when you can only live in Pipeline. So people grow and people live according to what they can afford. It's very important and it's very informative that every time as a person you need to live according and within your means. What you can afford is what you go for. I do not see the reason as to why I have to go look for to use dubious means to acquire more when I have to live through the right channels. You get that?
Yes.
So it's very important as a young person, as you grow, learn to live within your means. It's very important. It will save you a lot from very many troubles. It will save you a lot from the fights in the society that we are experiencing now. Do not emulate someone else's life. However, live your own life. Make your own money in a good way. Because a lot of people, these people you see successful, in one way or another, they have worked for it, they have gone for it, they have woken up very early in the morning just to ensure they have whatever they have. So you cannot expect just in a span of a night you wake up in the morning and you are rich. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. Even God himself is a God of order. He gives you things strategically and statistically. He plans himself from morning to evening. From even when he was creating people, he had planned himself that this day I'll do this, by this time I have to do this. So every one of us, we need to plan ourselves, to live within ourselves and work out ourselves to ensure we achieve what we want. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and David, because of course we're getting to learn from you.
Yes.
And maybe from whatever you've just said, I think there is a thing about it. Don't you think that the society is also giving us pressure? Because at this time, maybe from the economic crisis and even maybe from the peer pressure that we have from maybe our peers and our fellow, maybe if it's for students, and you find someone can go to an extent and say, I think there is something that has been trending all over. I think I want to sell my kidneys. I don't know, I have a kidney buy. I have these people are that serious. They just want to maybe to, even if it's an eye, heart, anything, they can do it for money. Don't you think it's maybe these things are being caused by the pressure in our society maybe?
There is peer pressure, there is pressure, yes. But however, I always say pressure we give ourselves. We do not find pressure from others. It's just what I said, like you look at someone and you're like, I want to be like them. I want to be like someone. It's the pressure you're giving yourself. No one else is giving you that pressure. So they're living their lives. It's you following them. So I think it's just you giving yourself pressure. So just stop doing what people are doing and expecting much from others. Just do what you can do in a good way and what is legally right. Don't just live a life that you cannot even account for yourself. If someone asks you today, you have 1,000 shillings, yes. How did you make it? You can answer that question, right?
You can, yes.
But if you cannot answer that question, that means the way you got that money, it's either making you, it's a shameful way.
Yes.
So you can't tell someone, this is how I made this money.
Yes.
Are we together?
Yes, we are. We are.
Yes.
Now, David, the reason why we want to discuss this today is because the extent to which people attribute now money, it looks like it has been given an unreasonable priority. And this is why they let their guard down and they start, maybe I go on social media, maybe I just decide today I want to revamp my TikTok account. And you go there and the things that you do, even when someone sees you doing that, they will not even be ashamed, they will be ashamed of you, of course. But now when what you're doing is in terms to get money, you would just want to get money and your goal is to get money, so you let your morals down so that you can get money, and that is why we're discussing this. So my question is, have we given money an unreasonable priority in our lives as young people?
I think money is important. Yes, money is important. In fact, there is nothing currently you can do without money. It's very important.
Yes.
But however, we've made money now everything and forgotten that money just it's just there to help us get through life. So we've made money about everything. we've made money about our lives.
Yes.
Even our relationships are just into money. You cannot relate with someone. Lazima uamke asubuhi and you say, nisaidie so moja. Because that is what links us. I can ask you for money, yeah, right? I can ask you for a monetary thing, like just something that is just monetized. That's the only thing that is linking us. But when there is no that money, we are no more. So most of ourselves, we've made money a priority. We've made money everything in our lives. We've made everything about ourselves to do with money. Forgetting that money is just there to help us get through life.
Yes.
Money is just to facilitate us to get through life. But however, on the relationship side, it's morals now. How do I relate with people? How do I talk to people? How do I treat people when I have money, right? So if I am a good person, if I am good with everyone, I communicate with everyone. Even when I have money, the stands still remain. I'll still talk to you nicely. I'll still address you nicely. I'll still treat you nicely. However, morality, I've come to find it a little bit weird because when one has money, currently, maybe people have never had, they say someone has never handled money before. When they get money, they run mad.
Yes.
Yeah,
Particularly, like, I don't understand why, but if you have the sense of the sense of well upbringing, you have the sense of morality in you, you'll know how to use your money, you'll know how to handle yourself even before people. And that is why I say young people right now, they are after, and let me tell you something about social media that I've learned. Sometimes we do analysis with social media and those people, celebs, most of the people as of our age, we try to cope with the celebrity life because we want to be like them, right?
Yes, yes.
So I came to realize like a good number of them, they are not living the life they show us on social media.
Yes.
It's very true.
Yes.
You find that person on the streets in the morning or on the other day when they are not on social media, my friend, you'll be surprised.
Culture shock.
Yes, culture
Character
shock, exactly.
development.
Character development, my friend. So ideally, we try to live their lives, but in real sense, they are not living in those big houses we see.
Yes.
Maybe they're just doing promotions. Someone maybe is just a brand ambassador of a certain stuff, so they're just trying to sell it out. But then when we see that, maybe someone is driving a car. Let's say it's just a TX or a V8, and we want like, I want to live in a V. I want to drive a V8.
Yes.
I want to live in a mansionette. They're just promoting it. They're just doing their work. So most of us we are moved, we are swayed with what the way they're living. We forget about ourselves because we are running someone's race.
Yeah.
Just run your race.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. And because you have mentioned cloud chasing, and we will get back to that. But before we do, let's just get to our comment section where we have Shiro Shish. Good morning, informants. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. We have Nema Kantaitas watching from Nigeria. And then we have 100%. The show is late. Thank you so much. We have Kevin MC Omolo, South Sudan locked. Thank you so much. Ken Waithaka is loving the conversation as well. Thank you so much. And keep the comments coming because as you have heard, David Wesonga is here, and he is a graphic designer and well-informed and a born-again Christian, a young man born again and has very good information about the society. So stay here, maybe on your side.
Yes,
What do we have?
and of course on my side I've not been left out because I can see Akina Joshua Zima and Bogi from Zimmerman. They are saying we are tuned in this morning and we are learning from David, though he's young but much informed. That is all from the Zimmerman side of it. And of course, I have another person who's saying, good morning, can you really ask David, I'm a gent. Of course, he didn't say his name, but he said, I'm a gent. And with all this pressure we are getting from girlfriends, how do you expect us to live without money? Maybe we are prioritizing this money, but they need us to have money. Because I remember some few times ago, when you ask a lady, she asks you, what do you have in your pocket?
Wow. And those are just some of the comments coming in. So please keep them coming, as we just want to understand about money and morality. Does money change someone?
Exactly.
Because we have seen people also who do things that when they didn't have money, and the person completely changes, because you realize this is not the Christine I used to know. This is not the Ngonjo I used to know. You know, he's not the one, maybe because of money, because right now they have money, so they have changed as well. But maybe David, you can answer the question of someone who did ask about money from your side, Ngonjo.
Yes.
What were they asking? If ladies ask for money.
Yes, and the question was if we can just repeat it and just put it in the layman's language. Of course, this viewer is asking, how do you expect us to live from whatever you've just said, being men with all that pressure?
Yes.
Of course, you need a little bit to fake. It's like it means you need a little bit to fake it so that you can attract someone. Because when you approach a lady, maybe she asks you, from experience of the gent, it's not from my own experience, and she asks you, what do you have in the pocket? So maybe what can you give as a feedback to that viewer?
Ideally, if you begin a relationship with the wrong note, believe me, it won't go well. It won't even end well. Ideally, how you present yourself to someone, it's very important. If I find a young girl on the streets and I am interested, basically I just have to be myself.
Yes.
Just be yourself. Because there are good people still. You'll find good people on the streets, yes. They're still waiting, they're looking for that good guy. So heavenly sent. Of course, you might be heavenly sent to someone, yeah?
Yes,
right?
of course.
But it's very tricky and it's very bad to begin a relationship on a bad note of
Yes.
do you have money? Can you sustain a certain life, right?
Yes.
So if you cannot sustain that life, my friend, even from the word go, at the end of the day, it's done. So it's very important, like we do not involve money. Yes, money is part of us, but we should not make it the main thing in relationships,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
When money is one thing that I've realized currently is destroying relationships. Yes, as you said, you find a young girl on the streets and you ask her, she tells you, fine, do you have money? Do you drive? Do you live in your own house? Do you have a mansion? But what I'll say to the young girls out there, people of our age, I think it's very important if you need to grow with someone. One day I was talking to someone and we were saying, if someone is building a house,
Yes.
let's say for instance, I'm married and I have a wife, and then we're building a house. You find something that you can do on that house that you may make you call it your own house.
Yes.
You get that?
Yes.
So if I build a whole structure and you say, I'll paint the house. Because maybe you can paint the house. Yes, it's manly duties, right?
Yes.
But you are just finding something that can make you the sense of identity,
Yes.
right?
Sure.
Even if things go south, God forbid things go south, right?
Yes.
You can easily say, basi wacha niende na rangi yangu, then you remain with your own house.
Yes.
You get that?
Yes.
So it's very difficult because you've also worked yourself out. And relationship wise, I think we all need to work on ourselves.
Yes.
Either the other side or this side. We need to work on ourselves so that even when we are meeting, we understand what we are doing together.
Yes.
If you find someone and the first thing they ask you is money, how much do you earn? That's a very wrong girl or that's a very wrong dude.
Yes.
Just be careful with such like people.
Yes, and on that note, maybe I look at my Facebook page and I can see someone here, and this is Raymond saying, money is good because when you pay someone, it is for a service or something, it means that you value that thing, and vice versa as well. So I do not see where the problem is when you value what you value. And I think he means once you pay someone, you pay for something, you value it. And once you get paid for something, you value that thing as well. So money is attributing money to value. Yeah, so he's saying that he sees no problem with that.
I think money is not only the only way to pay for something.
Yes.
Exactly, you get that. Where I come from Western, where we pay cows for dowry, right?
It's for dowry, yes.
Yeah. I've not paid money, but I've paid cows.
Yes.
What I'm doing is I'm trying to value the family that I'm getting a wife from. You get? It's not like necessarily money has been used, but I've used something else.
Yes.
You get? But I still value it. The point is we need to avoid making money everything, because even in families, parents have made money about themselves and they don't even focus on how they raise their kids.
Yes.
It's just money and making money and making money. So you realize at the end of the day, you've made money, but at the end of the day, your kids don't even know you. They call you uncle, they call you auntie, but you're their mother. They don't even see you because you've made money and wealth about yourself. Each and every day, you have to wake up, go look for wealth. Yes, it's very important, right? But do not make it about everything, because you need a different life from the other life that you do, chasing money, chasing the bag every day, right? So it's not, we value things in a different way. It's not just by paying with money, that's how we value things, right? So I can use money to pay for something, I value that service, I value the commodity. But then I can use something else to pay for the same. Because for instance, sometimes some of us, for instance, if I value a friendship, I'll use part of my service to value that friendship.
Yes, yes.
I have a friendship with someone. I'll use part of my service to help a friend out, because I value them, right? I wake up in the morning, maybe I have to check up on them. I've sacrificed a little bit of my time because I value the friendship. I just want to honor it. So let us not make money a big deal. That is what is ruining our lives today.
Yes.
Wow. And you're learning. Let's stop making money a big deal.
Yes.
Yes, and of course, sorry, maybe we can just get to sample some of our comments as well.
Yes, I can see Beryl here, and she's saying, "Good morning, Morning Informant. I don't. Why do some people think that money come before morals? And I think that when a society makes wealth, fame, and success as the goal of life, some people prefer those who achieve that goal by lying, and this is doing the immoral things without getting caught." And this is according to Beryl, though she didn't tell us where she's watching us from, but she thinks that some people actually tend to value those people who make their money immoral ways without getting caught. Yes.
I think that is now what is happening currently, because people are making money. People have just, you sleep today, you wake up in the morning. People have made wealth, but they don't even understand. You don't even understand how they reached there. So it's very dangerous trying to emulate what they have done, because you don't know where they slept yesterday to come up with that wealth.
That's very true.
Yeah. You just don't understand where they slept for them to come up with that money. So they may have slept at some just other different place. They wake up tomorrow, they are rich. But you try that yourself. You'll be selling your soul, you'll be selling your body, you'll be selling everything you have, your morals, to the society, because you just want to make money. You just want to be rich. It's very dangerous.
Wow.
Very, very bad.
Yes.
Just do whatever you can in a good way, legally. That anything that is legal, that anything that can be done and cannot affect your morals. It's very important.
Wow. And of course, you're getting informed. And I have another one here saying #Chill Friday. Good morning, Christine and Gonzo. Money is good when managed well, but it's also the root to all evil when managed wrongly.
True.
Hence, changing one's morals. Someone's character manifests well when he or she has money. Without money, people are down to earth. But when money comes, they change to something else, treating others like they are nothing. That is, of course, Jackie B from Yamaville. And thank you very much, Jackie B, for tuning in. And of course, I have another one who's saying, "Good morning, Morning Informant. My name is John. I'm watching you guys from Nairobi." And now, sometimes unapata kwa familia wazazi wanapenda mwenye akona pesa. Sasa what shall we do? We shall be forced to sell our kidneys so as to impress our parents. So what's your take on that, David?
I think it's a problem even in our society today. Parents, I think parents also, you make young people go through hell just to ensure they are loved because they are rich, they have something in their pockets. But however, just a little bit of advice to the same young man. Find something else that can make you important. I remember sometimes when my mother, we were just discussing a little bit of some things, and she told me, just ensure you are a reason. For someone cannot tell you, toka wende. Like they find a reason for you there, right?
Yes.
So, it may not necessarily like you have money, so parents need to love you because you have money, right?
Yes.
But there is something else you do, very important. You can be someone who takes care of your parents, even if someone else sends you money, but then you have that money that you're the one who take care of the family, you're the one who, if mother calls, I'm feeling unwell, tafadhali nipeleke hospitali. You're there for them, right? Yeah. So they find also a reason to love you. So it may not necessarily be, they find you rich for them to love you.
Yes.
But however, just a little talk to the parents out there. Parents, I think you do not make money a big deal for even loving kids. Sometimes it's not easy making that money because it's a process. People do not just wake up and they have money, and so you just have to love them. After all, you are the one who brought them on this earth. So
Yes.
you just have to accept they are still your responsibility. And as they grow, well, if God opens doors and makes them well or rich and have wealth, fine, it's God who has done it. And then it's their turn to take care of you. But do not make everything about money, even love. And you see now that's the problem, because we've already attributed love to money.
To money, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
That's the problem.
Attributing love to money,
money.
that's a problem.
Yeah.
And because we seem to just run short of time. But I have a comment here, David, and this is from Brian Zuki, who's watching us from Sabak, and he's saying, "Good morning, Morning Informant. Now, I just need to say this: money pays bills, and morals satisfies the spirit. So choose wisely."
Exactly.
And this is just his comment.
Exactly.
Yeah, the
Wow.
money pays bills.
Exactly.
And morals satisfies the
Exactly.
spirit.
Yes.
And he just finishes by saying, choose wisely.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this is
That's
what we
very
need.
true.
This is what we need right now. And of course, I have someone else here, and he's saying, and this is from Brenda Harish, and good morning, Morning Informant. I am watching you. I'm watching you from Mlolongo. Until the moment you are not self-sufficient in your life, you should think of money as your priority. And reaching self-sufficiency means you are able to get basic needs, and this is food, shelter, clothing, education, and medical. And this is because your morals cannot feed your family. Okay. And the next moment, when you are above self-sufficiency, you need to think of money, because anything above this will definitely will be definitely for luxuries. At this moment, you need to think of morals like helping others, which creates some sense to your life and to gives you the ultimate happiness. And this is just what Brenda is saying.
I think maybe just a question to Brenda. What's self-sufficiency? Or what does she, when she referred to self-sufficiency, in what way?
Yes.
Or what is self-sufficiency? Because I can be self-sufficient with myself. My body could be big. I'm self-sufficient with
Yes.
it. You get that?
Yes. Sure.
So I think, Brenda, self-sufficiency with money, do not make it a way that you have to do something different or something bad or something out of that ruins your moral just because you need to make yourself self-sufficient, right?
Yes.
Because yes, you can be self-sufficient, but at the end of the day, you can't even greet your neighbor in the morning because you see them as a lesser being. But if you can wake up in the morning and say hi to your neighbor, but you still have a way. And one thing I've known about money, people who have worked correctly in a good way to make their own money, they value every single shilling they have.
Yes.
Every single shilling. You ask them how they spent even to the last coin, they'll tell you, this is how I did it. Because they knew how they made it. And they can tell you, I woke up in the morning, my employer paid me, I opened a business in somewhere, I have a business in town, it's making profit, right? So they have a way, they have made the money. But look at someone who has just found rich.
Who sold the kidney.
Yeah, exactly. Who has sold the kidney. The next morning, fine, he'll have to drive a Range Rover. The next day he'll have to go look for good-looking girls out there, and they're looking for money. Yes, and then because they're also looking, that's the same thing. What is bringing them together is money, right?
Yes.
So because they can't even account for what they brought, what they have, it makes them now just spend it anyhowly because. They don't value the sweat. They have not sweat for it. But look at someone who has sweat for their own shilling. I kid you not, they'll tell you every single cent on how they spend it. Even if you ask something from them, and they'll tell you, right, you want this, right? Now tell me what you're going to do with that money before they give it to you.
Wow.
You go to ask for a loan from a friend. Sometimes people ask loans from friends. You go to ask a loan from a friend. You ask them, tafadhali nisaidie loan ya 10,000, I need to do this. They'll be like, okay, now tell me the details of what you want to do. They just don't give you money blankly. They know, they want to know, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Because they value every single sweat they've shed while making that money.
Wow. And that's interesting.
That is quite interesting. Yes.
Maybe if you just tell someone, I need a loan from you, that person maybe tells you, can you tell me what exactly you need to do with this money? You find someone like, maybe umekuwa stingy, I don't know.
Then you see, and you see that's the problem.
Yes.
I think it reached a time when I do not call people stingy, but I call people economical.
Yes.
Not just
economical is the right word,
economical.
Yes.
And people spend what they value and what they value. And again, one thing I always also advise people: do not make your problem someone else's problem, because all of us are going through issues, right? But then, if you're in a position to help, also just help. Do not run away from friends because they have problems. But you do not make it like people. You just need to be helped. Your problems may not be my problems. Also, maybe you have a problem. You want maybe you want to pay school fees, but I have a problem. My mother at home is sick, but I have money. Yes, you get. I have to pay for their bills. I have to pay for hospital bills, but you also need to pay for school fees. Now I'll weigh who comes first. I'll say family comes first, right? So it's a point that either women or other friends stop calling their friends stingy.
Because their friends also have set priorities.
Exactly.
So and their priorities matter as well.
Yeah, and they are just finding where to spend their money, not just specifically in you. That's the economical.
They're not stingy, they're just economical.
And in just about a minute, Mr. David Wesonga, please give us your last words in a minute or so.
I think what I'd say, life is short and life is important. Live worth life to explain to the world and to make a difference in life. And even to influence differently and positively to people, because the world out there, everyone is watching. You're just living your life. You're inspiring people. People are doing whatever people out there, they also love and they want to become who you are. They want to do that. So do not make just your life personal, because a lot of people, they are watching you. A lot of people want to know how you reached there, because they are also learning. They are making it alive. So what you do, and let us not make money about ourselves. Let us not make money about everything. Just if you need to make money, observe your morals. Money found us along the way. Morals, they are built in us. Just live correctly, love people, enjoy hanging around with friends, but build your morals. Make money correctly.
Wow,
what a show.
Wow, what a show. And you have heard it from Mr. David Wesonga, who's a graphic designer. So money came and found us. So live a good life and ensure that you impact people's lives. Yes, and on that note, maybe we just start winding up our show, because it is 1 minute to the top of the hour. And of course, I thank you very much to everyone who has been sending in their comments and their reviews, and as well as for our sponsors this morning, and that is Aqua World. And these are the best suppliers of mineral water, customized mineral water as well. In case you need a photo in the bottle, you can always get it at Aquaworld. And you can visit their website for more information, and that is aquaworldke.com, and that is where you can get all the information.
Yes, and of course, this water is just a phone call away, and their phone contact, their number is 0716 007 075. That is their contact in case you need to make your order. And just to remind you again that this water comes in 500 ml, 1 liter, 5 liters, 10 liters, and 20 liters. And of course, they also do the customized labels. In case you have a graduation, maybe you have a baby shower, it's a burial, or any other event, of course, Aquaworld is the best for you. They do it in a customized way at a very, very affordable price.
Yes, and from a SHANI TV family, congratulations are in order for Miss Rachel Maina, who is graduating today at the Kenya School of Medical and Science Technology with a preoperative theatre technology. Wow. Congratulations to you, Miss Rachel Maina, and we wish that the sky is not even your limit. You go beyond the sky. From us, SHANI family, we wish you a very, very blessed and a prosperous life after graduation. And now thank you to our director and our camera personnel, as well as our sound engineers, for making this show a success. My name is Christine Mutindi. Very beautiful Friday.
And my name is Gonjo Maina. Have a lovely weekend.
Live in a beach life city, enjoying coastal lifestyle with a cool breeze and ocean tides as you watch the sunset. In Malindi, touching the Kilifi Watamu bypass, sitting just 100 meters off the white sandy beach in a gated and controlled development next to Malaika Beach Hotel. Finca Properties Limited offers you a 50 by 100 plot for only 1.5 million shillings. Electricity and water is available on site. This property is ideal for residential homes, cottages, holiday homes and hotels. For inquiries, bookings and reservations, SMS the word plot to 40309 or call us on 0721 737 300 or visit our website at www.finca.co.ke. Come to our offices in Kitengela Town, Pena Towers, Suite B6. Title deeds are ready. Finca Properties Limited, prime and affordable.